And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
Hey everyone and welcome. Well, in this bid, I'm going to have to be a bit careful, so please forgive me. Well, we've seen that Trump and his supporters believe that the election was cheated and that Trump should have won. We've also seen our media and theirs attacking simple Trump supporters and Trump himself for years, using every smear in the book, haven't we? We also saw Burnley murder and anti-farts attacking ordinary citizens and store owners and police and Trump supporters, with zero justice coming from the Democrats. We also saw the US media and politicians calling for said violence as well, didn't we? And also calling for funds for bail for said violence. You remember that? We also saw courts and Supreme Court being too cowardly to see the evidence that Trump says he has of the alleged voter meddling. Well, it seems that the Trump supporters have had enough and decided to storm the Capitol building yesterday and let their feelings be known. Well, our media and theirs, the establishment mouthpiece, are saying that this is terrorism. Yep, you heard that right. Terrorism. So I'd like to remind you what's been going on in places like, I don't know, Kenosha, Portland and other major blue cities that these same people said were mostly peaceful protesters. The difference is quite clear in my opinion. Peaceful protesters that they're talking about killed 30 plus, destroyed small business and left international corporations untouched, and they attacked hundreds of cops while calling for them to be defunded. They claim revolutionaries but are backed by media, politicians and big business and billionaires. I say they're not revolutionaries, they're useful idiots. But what say you? Yet Trump supporters that went in a building and injured no one, killed no one, are terrorists and insurrectionists. The only people injured, as far as I can tell, were a female vet that was killed by security inside the building, and there's unconfirmed that 3 others died too, but I am trying to find out about that. I will confirm it with you at a later time. So it's more biased media reporting, fabrications and propaganda, isn't it? So I thought we'd have a quick look at the side that are calling this terrorism and insurrection. These are the Democrats' words. Now, if you have a look at this is top left, we've got Ayanna Presley, who's a member of AOC's squad. There needs to be unrest in the streets, she said. Then we have the new Vice President, soon to be President Harris, calling for protesters, and I use that lightly, to not let up. Then we have Maxine Waters. If you see anyone from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gas station, you get out and create a crowd, and you push back on them, and you tell them they're not welcome anymore anywhere. Then we've got House Speaker herself. I just don't know why there aren't uprisings all over our country. Maybe there will be. I think you spoke too soon on that one though, didn't you, Pelosi? And lastly, we've got Cuomo.
Now, too many see the protests as the problem. No, the problem is what forced your fellow citizens to take to the streets. Persistent and poisonous inequities and injustice. And please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
So please tell me where a protest needs to be peaceful. So out of all of their own mouths, they've admitted that this was a peaceful protest that got a bit out of hand, but they're going to call it a terrorism act and insurrection anyway. Absolutely disgraceful, the double standards, isn't it? So basically, political violence is okay for them and is classed as mostly peaceful protest, but not from Trumpers. Rules for thee but not for me is rampant in the US too, it seems, doesn't it? Now at this point I would like to say political violence doesn't work, as we've seen. The Republican cowards gifted Biden the win in response. I would also like to say I do not advocate for any violence ever. We're not barbarians. But I don't blame Trumpers, to be honest, for being angry. They feel, whether right or not, that they've been cheated out of their votes, out of their president, and have been assaulted from all sides off the establishment for years with cancel culture and threats, etc. And a court system and law system determined to not let them have their day in court to prove it. This could only go one way, in my opinion, unfortunately. Well, now the social media giants have decided to stop Trump talking, which is an absolute disgrace. He's still president until the 20th. This was Trump's biggest failing, in my opinion. He spent his time one-upping the media when he should have been reining them in. But I'd like to know your opinion on that. Do you think that was a big failing of his as well? Now, this doesn't bode well for anyone on the tech giants platform, me included, everyone. I expect a huge purge coming. So I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my alt media, Rumble and brand new Tube, just in case they do yeet us all off the platform. platform. Obviously our media as well are calling this every sensationalist word they can think of for clicks, and our politicians are virtue signalling like good little cowards. So expect some sort of betrayal in my honest opinion over Brexit. Biden hates us, yet we're sucking up to him. Seems the UK MPs all like it rough off people that hate us. I suspect, without lube as well. But anyway, I'd like to know your opinion on this. I thought I'd give you a little bit of backstory and make you remember that the Democrats were fine with political violence so long as it was aimed at Trump and Trumpers. Soon as it's aimed back at them, it's now classed as terrorism. They want the army in, they want every single Trumper to be arrested. I mean, that's even translated to over in the UK. There's calls now for every MP that backed Trump in the past to be shamed. Yeah, that's right. It's coming across here already. But I'd like to know your opinion, everyone. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon, share it out, everyone. Stay sane. I'll see you on the next one.